Hey guys, what's going on? I'm going to go back through one more time and kind of go over how to do not really monohybrid crosses, but specifically dihybrid crosses. I don't think that yesterday I did quite enough on that. I want to make sure that you guys are pretty comfortable with at least the instruction on that before I turn you loose on the practice problems for today. So the way that we do dihybrid crosses, there we go, is just to do a bunch of monohybrid crosses. That's all you really need to know how to do here. If you can do a single monohybrid cross, if I could just draw a square, then maybe that would work. Okay, so really all you need to know how to do are a single monohybrid cross for all the genetics that we're going to do. That's really all you need to do. Looks like a freaking Picasso. Okay, so really all that is important here is that you're going to set up these monohybrid crosses the same way that you have been before. Now, whenever you're given any genetics problem, especially when they're written out the way that we're going to do these problems in just a second, you always want to write down the genotypes of the parents. That should be the first thing that you do every single time. Write down the genotypes of the parents. I'm going to keep saying that like over and over and over. So let's say that we've got these three traits. We've got tall and short. That has to do with obviously plant height. Then we've got axial and terminal. That's flower position. And then we've got green and yellow. That's pod color. Okay, so let's take a heterozygous tall, heterozygous axial plant. Okay, so we're just looking at those two traits. I think I did this same one yesterday. And we're going to cross that with a short homozygous axial. There we go. That'll make things a little bit interesting. Okay, so the all we really need to do with this is here's our two plants that we're looking at. We're going to do a monohybrid cross with the T's, then we're going to do a monohybrid cross with the A's. So let's come back here, and the T is heterozygous and recessive. Okay, and then we've got the A's. We've got a heterozygous and a dominant, homozygous dominant. Let's see. So then in any question that you're going to get, the question is always going to be like how many of the offspring are share a specific characteristic. How many are heterozygous tall and terminal? Or in fact, let's do that one. Okay, so let's say how many of the offspring are heterozygous tall and terminal? Okay, so first things first, how many are heterozygous tall? Well, two of them are. Two out of the four, so that's 1/2. How many are terminal? Well, none of them are, so the answer is 0. Let's come through and... Oh, I didn't mean to do that. How many are short? And heterozygous axial. So short is 1/2, heterozygous axial is 1/2, so the actual answer is 1/4. Okay, so write down the genotypes of the parents, do the monohybrid crosses, and then write down the genotypes of whatever it is that you're asking for. And then do the Punnett squares and multiply the fractions. Now, I had another monohybrid box set up. Coming back to me trying to draw squares. So let's add in one more trait. I had a heterozygous tall, heterozygous axial with a short and homozygous, I'm sorry, that was a, yeah, homozygous axial. Let's add in a heterozygous green and another heterozygous green. Okay. So then we come back through and we ask this the same questions that we were doing that before. How many, let's say, how many are heterozygous for everything? So big T, big A, big G, little g. All right. So we come over to the T's. How many are heterozygous? Half. On the A's, how many are heterozygous? Half. And on the G's, how many are heterozygous? That's also half. So you take 2 times 2, that's 4, times 2 is 8. So of those, 1/8. And that's it. You just keep multiplying fractions together, and that's it. Okay, so I'm going to kind of turn you guys loose on a bunch of practice problems now. Excuse me. Here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to pull out a piece of paper. There's some, if you don't have any paper or something, like there's some copy paper that's up by the eye wash station. Go ahead and grab that if you need to. If you don't have a pen or a pencil to write with, there are some colored pencils that are over on the bookshelf. Go ahead and grab some of those too. But I want you to actually work through all of these problems. Even if you can do them in your head, I want you to write them down. Write down the genotypes of the parents first, do the crosses, and then come up with the answers. You can type the answer into the doc that I'm going to give you, but I want you to attach a picture of your work to that so that I can see that you're actually going through and doing all this stuff. If you want to work together with somebody, that's fine, but remember, everybody turns in their own stuff, okay? All right, that's it, guys. See ya.